So I mentioned in the most recent TWAB that I have found my way around the Airborne Effectiveness nerf, which is what it is. I don't care what anyone says. A lot of people saying, yo, you can build into it, whatever. At the end of the day, Airborne gameplay has been heavily nerfed, but not for everything. Not all weapons are created equal, and there are certain weapons that are still thriving in the air, one of them being our beloved toaster Jotunn. Combined with one of my favorite hunter exotics in the game, Ahamkara Spine, merged with the updated Solar 3.0 subclass, fellas, I present to you Young Jotunn. Almost sounds like a rapper name, right? Now don't kid yourself, guys. Even though the name sounds ridiculous, this entire build is extremely disgusting. First up, we did a video breakdown a while back, going over Scorch and exotic weapons that apply it. Jotunn this season got an exotic Catalyst, which grants faster charge time or draw time when surrounded by combatants, essentially cornered, and defeating a target spreads Scorch to those nearby. And more powerful combatants and opposing guardians cost Scorch in a larger radius. Now, honestly, what makes Jotunn the nastiest is just because it can land those one-hit kills. It has incredible tracking. And even though you can avoid a Jotunn shot, if someone's good about just giving you the peekaboo strat coming around a corner, it can really catch you by surprise, and it's just an insta-bang. On top of that, due to the fact that it also has incandescent and can spread Scorch, this is where we start to really take advantage of this. First up, our exotic armor piece, Ahamkara Spine. And I know, someone's gonna say, Cross, it's young Ahamkara Spine. No, Ahamkara! This exotic increases trip mine grenade duration and blast radius, and any ability damage will grant trip mine grenade energy. Lots of great benefits here, guys, but essentially, bigger blast radius, no damage fall off, lasts up to 30 seconds with 50% damage resistance out of PvP. It also removes self-damage from the trip mine grenade, so if someone's rushing you and you throw the grenade at them and they run into you, you won't take any damage, and any ability damage recharges 33% of grenade energy. Now, I'm also double stacking this with grenade kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. This, of course, cuts down even more on that time. Now, I want to direct you to my class item. I'm rocking one bomber perk, which reduces your grenade cooldown when you use your class ability. I'm also taking advantage of classy restoration, where activating your solo class ability grants you restoration. This saves my life so many times. But notice right here, I'm rocking Molten Overload. Guys, Molten Overload, or pretty much any overload weapon or mod, actually stops regeneration from restoration. Meaning, if someone is rocking classy restoration against me, but I tag them with my trip mine grenade while also rocking Molten Overload, this will essentially disrupt them, keeping them from gaining that health. This is huge, guys. Trust me, this is the counter to classy restoration. And considering we're spitting out grenades left and right with these combinations, that and max discipline, fellas, we are in trip mine heaven. It's the Scorch stacks that trip mine grenades applies that really makes this build so deadly. First up, the trip mine grenade, when it deals damage, also moderately scorches targets. Now, this scorch is important because we're actually going to be taking advantage of Ember of Singeing, where your class ability recharges faster when you scorch a target. This, of course, allows us to take advantage of classy restoration more often, and on top of that, we're able to proc Bomber more often, giving us our grenade. We're also taking advantage of Ember of Ashes, where we apply even more scorch stacks to targets, and you can see all of this benefits Jotunn in that exotic Catalyst, especially on those multi-targeted kills. Now, in order to actually grant myself Radiant, I have powered melee attacks against combatant make you and nearby allies radiant. This is Ember of Torches. And I'm actually taking advantage of Proximity Explosive Knife. Throw the knife down, let it get that proxy detonation, voila, you've got Radiant with that damage buff. We're also taking advantage of Ember of Solace, where Radiant and Restoration effects apply to you have increased duration, and Ember of Empyrean, where solar weapon or ability final blows extends the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. By the way, that's continuous. As long as you are getting ability kills or solar weapon kills, which is obviously very easy here with Jotunn, this is extending those restoration and radiant effects. Now, Radiant is not really necessary for Jotunn. It's already really good. It's going to get the one-hit kill, but it is nice for your other weapons. And I happen to be rocking this Peace Bond with it, which actually comes with Demolitionist, thus giving me even more grenade energy back. But any Demolitionist weapon would be fantastic here. So the flow of this playstyle is very simple, guys. Throw your grenade, proceed to dodge, throw a knife out, have everything feed back into Ahamkara Spine, rock that max discipline with that 35-second cooldown for your trip mine, and before you know it, you're going to have your trip mine back yet again. And proceed to keep locking down areas at all time. Put it in doorways. Someone is going to run into it. And if not, you can at least push the enemy where you want them to go. I actually like to put trip mine grenades in locations that will squeeze them to a lane. And that way, I will meet them with Jotunn. Jotunn, which is now granting you incandescent with every kill. Jotunn, which is also applying Scorch, feeding you class ability energy, allowing you to dodge more often, granting yourself more grenade energy and more restoration. Now, Cross, why not take advantage of Acrobats Dodge? You can just make yourself radiant over and over. Well, again, guys, that actually has a longer cooldown, so you're not dodging as often. And again, even though radiant is nice, it's not necessary here for Jotunn. Jotunn will find a way. It will get the kill. You'll have no problem with that. The name of the game here is to stay alive and literally have a trapper's mindset. Proxy knife, trip mine grenades, cutting off avenues of escape, and literally being the most annoying enemy to go up against. Last but not least, Golden Gun this season is actually one of the best supers inside of Crucible. However, Blade Barrage has one of the fastest cooldowns. And that's kind of the balance of the two. Personally, I think both Deadshot and Marksman is really, really good. I actually had a number of moments where we were going on multi-kills with Goldie and it felt phenomenal. And you get damage resist now, but you of course can take advantage of Blade Barrage and just go for that super fast cooldown for that super. As for Jotunn itself, even though this is a very tracking based weapon, you do want your reticle to kind of be on point to engage that tracking. And I know it sounds terrible right now that I'm actually like promoting how to be good with Jotunn. There is kind of a, you know, a skill set to it before people just jump up and say, Cross is the cheesiest weapon in the game. Actually, you do kind of got to lead targets when they're going from side to side. Obviously, Jotunn is fantastic against opponents that are running away from you or even trying to engage with you. Matter of fact, the best encounter you can do up against a Jotunn user is just prioritize moving before shooting. Just get the heck out of the way because the follow-up shot is not going to be fast enough to catch you and you should be able to kill them. But most people do try to tie up against a Jotunn and they die. And this season, Jotunn is better than ever before. Guys, if you're interested in our video and our Jotunn breakdown, feel free to check that one out. It's all the weapons that synergize with Solar 3.0. Jotunn being one of them that actually applies 30 Scorch, which of course is increased up to 40 with Ember of Ashes. And even though today we're speaking from a PvP perspective, this is very much a good weapon inside of PvE. But I will say, even though Airborne Effectiveness has been heavily nerfed, or at least Airborne gameplay has been heavily nerfed, I have found my way to counter it. Whether you're rocking a shotgun, a fusion rifle, a sniper rifle, or take it to the air with a primary, it doesn't matter. Jotunn doesn't discriminate. It will find you. It will kill you. It will make me laugh. And ultimately, this is the kind of cheesy stuff that keeps me coming back. So guys, try it out for yourselves. I fully expect to see the Crucible quite literally on fire over the next few weeks. Nothing would make me happier. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.